What if fear simply vanished, not controlled, not negotiated, but erased like smoke in the wind? Can you even imagine what your life would look like without fear gripping your heart, whispering in your ear, pulling you away from your destiny? Most men tiptoe through life, praying to arrive safely at death, not because they lack talent or vision, but because they obey fear. They let it speak louder than their dreams and louder than their potential. But I want you to imagine a different life, one where you rise each morning with fire, not hesitation, where you look at a door and kick it open instead of waiting for permission. Because here is a truth you must remember. Fear only has power when you believe it. It feeds on your surrender, on your silence, on every step you don't take. You were not born to be a slave to it. You were born to walk boldly in the direction of your purpose. And the first step is learning to live as if fear no longer exists. Fear is not your enemy. It is instinct. It is ancient. It is built into your biology to keep you safe from danger. And in many ways, it has kept you alive. But understand this. Fear was meant to protect you, not to lead you. The tragedy is that most people hand over the wheel of their lives to fear. They let it drive their choices, shape their paths, and dictate their worth. They wait for the fear to disappear before they move. But that day never comes. It is not fear that stops you. It is your obedience to it. It's the pause, the hesitation, the delay. Each time you shrink instead of speak, each time you wait instead of act, you surrender authority to a voice that was never meant to lead. The courageous do not wait for fear to leave. They move while it walks beside them. They know that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to obey it. If you wish to destroy fear forever, you must dethrone it. You must take back the wheel. And once you do, the direction of your life changes forever. Fear is loudest in stillness. It grows in the silence between thought and action. But here's the secret the bold have always known. Fear cannot survive momentum. The moment you move, truly move, fear begins to lose its grip. When you take a step forward, no matter how small, you send a signal to your subconscious mind. We are not prisoners here. We act. And with every act of courage, every phone call made, every boundary set, every goal pursued, fear begins to shrink. Your mind learns by repetition. Just as fear is built by rehearsing what might go wrong, confidence is built by practicing what must be done. Each time you face the thing you fear, you rewrite the story. You show your nervous system that the danger is not death, it's progress. The world does not belong to the fearless. It belongs to those who move anyway. If you want to shrink your fear, move your feet. Move your voice. Move your life. Fear cannot lead a man in motion. Fear speaks in stories, not facts, not truths, but vivid, convincing tales designed to paralyze your progress. It whispers that you are not ready, not good enough, not worthy of success. And because it uses the voice of your own mind, you believe it. You accept it. You live by it. But listen closely. Fear is not a prophet. It's a fiction writer. It takes a single moment of uncertainty and spins it into catastrophe. You don't just imagine rejection. You see your reputation ruined. You don't just fear failure. You picture public humiliation and the end of your journey. This is how fear wins. Not with facts, but with repetition. The more you rehearse the worst-case scenario, the more real it feels. Your body tightens, your breathing shortens, and suddenly you are trapped in a future that hasn't even happened. But here lies your power. If fear is just a story, then you can write a better one. A story where you speak up, leap forward, and rise after every fall. Because fear only wins when you stop questioning its lies. If fear is built by repetition, then so is confidence. And if your mind can imagine disaster, it can just as easily imagine domination. Understand this. Your mind does not know the difference between memory and imagination. So when you vividly rehearse failure, your body responds as if it's real. But when you rehearse victory, with clarity, emotion, and intention, your mind begins to accept that as real too. This is not wishful thinking. This is mental training. Athletes do it. Warriors do it. Leaders do it. Because success begins in the mind long before it shows up in results. So start feeding your brain a better story, not one of fear, but of fire. Tell yourself, I rise when I fall. I speak and I'm heard. I leap and I land. And repeat it until it's no longer a hope, but a habit. Confidence is not gifted to you. It is constructed by the stories you choose to live by. And when you change the narrative, you change everything. Fear does not vanish with time. It does not fade with waiting. It dissolves through exposure. The more you face it, the more powerless it becomes. Not because the fear disappears, but because you grow stronger. Most people wait to feel brave before they act. But courage doesn't come first. It comes because of action. You must stop treating fear as a stop sign and begin treating it as a signal. A signal that says, you are standing on the edge of your next evolution. Consider this. When you stand before a freezing pool, you can tiptoe, hesitate, analyze, and remain cold. Or you can leap, shock the system, and discover the water wasn't as brutal as your mind imagined. That is exposure. That is freedom. The fearless are not without fear. They've simply become familiar with discomfort. They've trained their nervous system to survive what once seemed unbearable. And every time they speak while shaking, act while doubting, they become unstoppable. You want to destroy fear. Don't run from it. Step into it again and again until the storm can no longer shake you. Motivation is fleeting. It comes like a spark, bright, loud, and short-lived. But discipline is the steady flame that never dies. The fearless are not driven by mood. They are driven by mission. They don't wait to feel ready. They act because it must be done. And when fear whispers, they do not negotiate, they move anyway. This is where fear dies, not in inspiration, but in structure, in routines, in rituals, in decisions already made. The alarm rings, you rise. The task is hard, you do it anyway. Doubt creeps in, you keep walking. Discipline removes the debate. It silences the internal courtroom where fear argues for your surrender. And with every disciplined act, you teach your mind, I act no matter how I feel. That is where power is forged. That is where fear loses its voice. You do not conquer fear by waiting for confidence. You conquer it by building a mind that moves on command. And that mind is not born. It is trained day by discipline. You don't need a miracle to destroy fear. You need a method, a set of rituals that train your mind and body to act before fear takes hold. Ritual 1. Do something uncomfortable every morning. Not reckless, intentional. Cold shower. Difficult conversation. A task you've been avoiding. Why? Because your nervous system must be trained. And when you show it that discomfort won't break you, fear starts to retreat. Ritual 2. Move your body. Lift, walk, run. Motion defeats stagnation, and stagnation is where fear breeds. When you move your body, your mind follows. Confidence rises, energy returns. Ritual 3. Speak power into your mind. Affirmations are not fluff, they are commands. Say, I am not afraid. I do not shrink. I lead. Repeat it, then act like it. Ritual 4. Win early. Make your bed. Finish the task. Keep the promise. Each win builds momentum, and fear has no place in a life that's already in motion. These small, daily actions may seem simple, but practiced with intention, they create a man fear cannot hold. Fear doesn't start in the world. It starts in the mind. It's not the event that stops you. It's the story you attach to it. Stories of failure, inadequacy, disaster, played on repeat until they feel like fact. But here is the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts get to stay. Left untrained, your mind will work against you. It will turn imagined failure into real hesitation and hesitation into regret. So you must take control. Guard your thoughts like a vault. When fear says you're not ready, you say, says who? When it whispers, you'll fail, respond, then I'll learn. Every thought is a seed. Water fear, and you grow hesitation. Water courage, and you harvest strength. Your reality bends to the thoughts you rehearse. You either train your thoughts or they train you. And if fear is still calling the shots, it means the wrong voice is in charge. Victory begins within. Reclaim the battlefield. Write a new script. Because the mind, once mastered, makes fear irrelevant. Picture this. You're lying on your deathbed. The world grows quiet, but around you stand shadows. Not enemies, not strangers, but the ghosts of every dream you never pursued. Every risk you avoided. Every bold version of you that fear buried. And they ask just one question. Why did you let fear decide for you? You see, fear doesn't just steal moments. It steals legacy. It convinces you to sit down when you were born to rise, to stay safe when you were made to lead. But understand this. Comfort is not safety. It's the quiet death of your greatness. No one remembers the man who played it safe. No statues are built for the woman who avoided failure. History honors those who acted while still afraid. So from this moment forward, fear has no vote. Only your vision, only your mission. Stand tall, speak boldly, and when fear shows up again, as it always will, you'll greet it with a smile and say, "Thank you for the warning, but I decide who I become." Because this isn't the end, it's the beginning of the fearless life you were meant to live.